And Tanachu Lopez as well. Got to make a move here soon, though, as he goes around the outside on Eric Holt's outside shoulder. On the outside in lane number 1, it's Ingles in third, Navasky Anderson, everybody following Therese Roden. And here comes Tanachu Lopez swinging along the outside.
Well, a little bit of a late move for him. I kind of expected him to be up there with the leaders. But here as they go into the end of that third 200 meters, he looks like he's trying to take over just a little bit. He is a strong runner down the home stretch.
Still anybody's race. Jonah Koech swinging around the outside. He'll run in front with 100 to go. He has turned on the afterburners. The man who was 5th at the trials in 1:44.32. It's Koech, the 27-year-old, taking the win here tonight in Memphis. And it's 1:45.23 officially. Tanachu Lopez second, 1:46.3.
Well, Jonah Koech, he was a World Championship team member back in 2022. But he's had an interesting post-collegiate career. Ran for the WCAP program that he was sponsored by the U.S. Army, ran for that WCAP program, but competed collegiately at UTEP and Texas Tech, and coached by Paul Ehring, the former indoor world record holder, the great collegiate runner from the University of Virginia. So he certainly has had some great coaching in his day, but Jonah Koech, this is how you slingshot. This is how you slingshot into the last 100 meters. And you wondered, why did Jonah Koech look so good at the end? Well, it was a pretty moderate pace, 1:45.23 for the win. He looks like he's the guy who's in 1:44 low condition right now.
And he's standing downstairs with serenity.
All right, Jonah, congratulations on your win today. Talk to me about this pace that you were trying to set from the very beginning.
Yeah, I was just having fun today because I didn't make the team for the party, so I was like, it's a frustration that I didn't make the team since I had put a lot of time, but I didn't make it, so I was just coming here to relieve that stress and just to have fun, because this athletics is just a matter of having fun. It's not a matter of having stress or anything.
And it can be pretty tough when you don't make the team, so how did you refine some motivation to come out here today?
It's just a matter of accepting the situation. What has happened has already happened. You cannot change. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on your win today. 1:45.23, that's blazing. So what are you going to be working on now?
Now I still have a lot of races coming up. Since I haven't run faster, so I'm planning to run faster this year. Just a little bit.
Well, congratulations, Will.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Serenity. And Dan, I think a good message there from Jonah Koech that we talked about on the open of our broadcast. There's still a ton of track and field that's going to happen this summer outside of the Olympic Games.
Well, and only 3 guys make the Olympic team, all right? And that you know, I'm trying to think how many, 36 entries in the men's 800 meters. So a lot of people are walking away from the Olympic trials a little dejected, a little bit down. But he said, hey, look, it is what it is, and this is the situation. So I love his attitude. And, you know, I'm not sure what's really fun about 2 laps at 800 meters, but he said he's out there having fun.
Absolutely nothing at all. We'll take a quick pause. When we come back, the women's 800 on deck from the Ed Murphey Classic in Memphis.
For the United States, Addie, Wiley.
Remember me, I'm the one who had you, baby. Remember me, I'm the one who had you, baby. Remember me.
At City Auto, you'll find a gazillion reasons to buy your next vehicle. Find great selection and value conveniently online and in person. Find more than 35 brands and all the luxury models too. Find more for your trade. Find honest, friendly service. Find competitive financing and upfront pricing for a no-hassle car buying experience. City Auto. See a gazillion, find the one. Elmore Road off Covington Pike, Memphis. cityauto.com.
Back in Memphis for the Ed Murphey Classic, the women's 800 on deck here from the University of Memphis. And Dan O'Brien wearing hip number 7. This is Addie Wiley, the very talented young American.
Well, just 20 years old. She was 11th in the 1500 meters at the Olympic trials, but she was your U.S. indoor runner-up at 800 meters. But she does a great combination runner, 800, 1500 meters. And she's one of those athletes that has a rare advantage of being able to pick which race she wants to run.
And Olivia Baker, a semifinalist at the U.S. trials, ran her season's best of 2 flat 73 in New York, has run under 2 flat, going down to 158 out in Monaco just a couple of years ago.
Well, and just amazing, running for the Atlanta Track Club. There you see the uniform, but 2 flat. You think about it, it's like it doesn't get you on a team anymore. Now you got to dip way under 2 flat, and that used to be the standard. Now there's so many young ladies running that time.
And then on the outside, wearing hip number 9, the legendary Addie Wilson, 30-year-old who made the semis at the U.S. Champs, 12-time American champion, indoors and outdoors, and a world indoor title to her resume as well. A field of 11 paced by Presley Weems, the former Auburn Tiger, who is slated to put them through at 58 to 58.5 through 400, off and running here in the women's 8.
Well, and Addie Wilson in the early part of the spring, she didn't look that great. She really finished behind where we thought she normally should be in this outdoor season, but then she showed up at the Olympic trials and she ran some of her best races of the season. There you see Wilson on the outside, and then right behind her, that's Sammy Watson, formerly of Texas A&M. She won an NCAA championship while at Texas A&M, but she's having a really solid year as well.
So Weems, the pacer, also from Atlanta Track Club, taking him through. There's Watson on the outside with Kayla Edwards, the pride of Oklahoma State, another U.S. championship semifinalist. 30-year-old who was 3rd at the 2023 U.S. Champs and ran 2 flat .02 here at the 7th annual Ed Murphey Classic last year, and pretty much right on schedule there halfway through as Weems sets the pace and steps off.
Well, Addie Wiley was in just great position there with the rabbit. She followed the rabbit closely, and they dipped under, right about 57. Looks like Sammy Watson hanging on for 2nd position. Let's see how Addie Wiley works this 3rd 200 meters.
For Addie Wiley, there is just something about the city of Memphis. She ran her personal best of 157.64 right down the road here at this meet last summer, and she has got a gap on the field. Can anybody catch her? Olivia Baker trying to cut down that lead for Addie Wiley. Blocking the sun and doesn't need to block anybody in front of her as Wiley takes the turn into the final 100 meters. Baker right behind her trying to still make up ground. The great aerial shot here from our crew shows the pace for Wiley through the line to take the women's 800 just under 2 minutes. 158.67. Wiley loves her trips here to the Bluff City.
Well, and that is tough to do, to run a time that quick by yourself out front the last 300 meters. But for those youngsters out there that are watching this 800 meters, Addie Wiley just gave a lesson on how to run the 800 meters. She really pushed that first lap, put herself in good position with 400 meters to go, and you cannot run fast in the 800 meters if you're not willing to put yourself out there on the first lap. She followed the rabbit very, very closely, and then it was all guts in the last 300, but she just has great turnover. And she's able to push herself with really feeling nobody. You don't feel anybody on your shoulders, nobody around there with you. It's almost like running a time trial, and she just was a metronome over those last 300 meters.
We get 3 under 2 minutes, and for Sammy Watson, the former NCAA champ, a first ever trip under 2 minutes, a career best for the 24-year-old. But Addie Wiley is our winner, and she is downstairs with Serenity.
Addie, congratulations, 1:59, the fastest in Tennessee. Now, you were going through some food poisoning up at Olympic trials just 2 weeks ago, so how were you able to get back healthy? Because you had a hamstring injury as well. So talk to me about some of the rehab that you were doing to come out here and compete this well.
Yeah, it's been a long road. I started a whole new strength, isometric routine, really learned how to take care of the body coming back from food poisoning. So it's been a long and slow journey, but I'm just trusting the process and trusting all that work I did before I got sick. It's still there, I just had to find it.
And it's also a meet record, so congratulations on that. Did you kind of feel like you had something to prove out here today?
Absolutely, I mean, it's really hard to come off the Olympic trials, anybody but the top 3, and realize the summer's not over yet. We gotta keep running and keep running fast, so I wanted to crush it today, and I'm happy with what it was.
And you absolutely did crush it. Sub 2 minute, now go and celebrate right there. Back to you, Will.
All right, thank you, Serenity. The 20-year-old Addie Wiley, that is certainly a face and a name to remember in U.S. middle distance running.
Well, she did have a good year. She is an outstanding year, runner-up indoors in the 800 meters, but then outdoors, she does get the Olympic standard. And so when she got to those Olympic trials, you know, her finishing 11th might have been a little farther down than she wanted to, but that's a great feat in itself to get that Olympic qualifying standard and to get into the finals at the trials.
And champagne to go with it as well here in our women's 800. Coming up, it is the women's 400, a spectacular field including 5 Paris Olympians on deck.
At City Auto, you'll find a gazillion reasons to buy your next vehicle. Find great selection and value conveniently online and in person. Find more than 35 brands and all the luxury models too. Find more for your trade. Find honest, friendly service. Find competitive financing and upfront pricing for a no-hassle car buying experience. City Auto. See a gazillion, find the one. Elmore Road off Covington Pike, Memphis. cityauto.com.
Back here in Memphis for the 8th annual Ed Murphey Track Classic. Here the second meet of the American Track League Summer Track Circuit. Will Bowling, Dan O'Brien with you. Serenity Douglas downstairs in the heats. And coming up next in just a few minutes, the Jim Mathis Women's 400 meters. A good crowd here in Memphis that are braving the conditions. Dan, having grown up in this state this time of year, I mean, you know it as well. It's most of the country right now. This is a very taxing time to be competing in track and field. You feel like you've run a race a lot of times when you come to one of these events right now as well.
Hey, cry me a river, brother. I'm living in Phoenix, Arizona, and we're breaking heat records every day.
I remembered who I was talking to about halfway through that sentence, I think.
No, but it looks like a really nice night there in Memphis, Tennessee, and it's probably a perfect night for the sprinters, but not so much the distance runners. And
sure,
you know, the sprinters want a little bit of heat, but boy, the distance runners just love it, just a little bit cool. But yeah, no, you gotta love these hardcore fans to come out here, and all it takes is a good hat, some sunglasses.
That's right.
This track meet tonight's only a couple hours long, so enjoy it.
Well, in the Jim Mathis Women's 400, we've got 5 athletes who have qualified for the Paris Games, and this is Canada's Lauren Gale, who ran the Olympic standard back on June the 4th. She has had a terrific season.
Well, and what's interesting is that Canadian team went to the Bahamas. That 4x4 Canadian team went to the Bahamas and qualified, and so she'll be in that relay pool along with Kyra Constantine, Ayanna Stavern, Alicia Marsh, and Zoe Schurer, and this is going to be one heck of a Canadian 4x4 squad this season.
There's Gale in lane number 4, and right to her outside, Quinera Hayes, who has been picked to represent the United States in their relay pool.
Well, and Quinera Hayes, this has been one of her best seasons as a 400-meter runner, but I'll tell you what, the 400 meters, just so many events this year have just stepped up. There were a gang of people running under 50 seconds, and she ran well in the early rounds of the Olympic trials, but she just couldn't hang there in the final. She would finish 7th, but you know, she's one of these athletes that you want her on that relay team because of her experience. She's such a savvy runner. She's one of those athletes who loves to chase, run other people down, and if she got a great lead, she does what the U.S. does, and that's helped these teams win gold medals at the Olympic Games and the World Championship. So it's nice to see Quinera Hayes donning the USA uniform once again.
Hayes was 7th in Tokyo, 2017 world champ on the US 4x4 at those World Championships in London. There's just something about races over one lap in this sport right now. When you look at what Rai Benjamin did today in the Diamond League and the 400-meter hurdles, of course, I don't have to introduce what Sydney McLaughlin has been doing in a single lap as well, but the flat 400 too, Dan, this is a remarkable time to just be running one lap.
And Quincy Hall dips into 43 seconds in the 400 meters as well. But you know, Noah Lyles is sitting home going, hey, what are you talking about?
Absolutely.
The races under 400 meters are pretty quick as well. And I apologize. I said that Quinera Hayes finished 7th at the Olympic trials, but she got 5th at the Olympic trials. But I'm sure Michelle Freeman, the relay coach, who has really turned things around for the U.S. women relay pool, as really excited to have her on that squad. But a couple other Olympians in this field as well. Nicole Yergin, she'll represent Team GB. She's out in lane 8. She was 4th at the British Championships.
Paula Moran, Gabby Scott, Kyra Constantine in this field. 3 more Olympians as well. And our Jim Mathis women's 400 off and running. Gale in the red in lane number 4 with the bow around her hair. You can't miss Quinera Hayes, who will represent Team USA in Paris, running in lane number 5.
Well, that's Courtney Acolo on the far left there, formerly the great Texas Longhorn. What a collegiate career she had.
And there's Gabby Scott running in lane number 7, qualified for the Paris Olympics, Puerto Rican national record holder. But now Hayes runs into the picture with Bailey Lear of the United States running very well in lane number 3. This looks like a blanket finish in our women's 400. And in lane 3, Bailey Lear, like a jet, flies first to the line. 50:92, the winning time, and a new career best for the 23-year-old American Bailey Lear.
Well, there Bailey Lear gets some love from Kennedy Blackman, who we just saw in the 100 meters. And I just noticed that they got a guitar player on the infield there. Nice going, but there's Bailey Lear with a new PR. And you know, our attention wasn't even really on the inside part of the track. We were watching Quinera Hayes in the middle of the track. Looked like she was taking over, but Bailey Lear snuck up on the inside and took over and finished this thing off. Well, they switched some of the lanes on us. I think that was Paolo Moran of Mexico there in lane 5. But Lear would get the victory over a really good field. This is an outstanding field. There you see Nicole Yergin. I said she was on the outside, but they had her in lane 2. But they dip under 51 seconds. And on a hot night like this, that's a good time.
50:92 for Lear, the winning time, who once again gets a personal best. She set 50:94 as her PB at the U.S. Olympic Trials semifinals, and here in Memphis, takes another 200ths off of that shiny new personal best here in the Puma American Track League. So there are the full results. Moran 2nd, Quinera Hayes 51:16, but Bailey Lear is our winner downstairs with Serenity.
All right, congratulations, Bailey. You PR'd a couple weeks ago, and now you're PRing again. So something must be going right in training. Let's talk about it a little bit.
Okay. Well, I've just been training hard after I came home from trials. Disappointed not to make the team, but I just know I have to be hungrier than ever and just keep going. So.
And you graduated from USC, but you're now training where? And who's your coach? Who's your training group? And how have they really been helping you?
So I train at Georgia now with Coach Carroll, Coach Kareem, and Coach Hill. Thank you. And I train with Aaliyah Butler, all the awesome Georgia girls. So great training partners, helping push me to what I want to go to. So.
And you spoke about the disappointment of obviously not making the Olympic team. So how were you able to just refocus to come out here today and run that fast?
I think taking every race as an opportunity to just be better and just knowing that even though I didn't make it, something could happen out of it. So, yeah.
All right, Bailey, beautiful execution. Now go and celebrate. Back to you, Will.
All right, thank you, Serenity. I guess the next question is, what kind of juice do you like with your champagne? Because there's a big bottle of it. Oh, right there, all the bubbles coming right at you. So Bailey Lear takes it and is the latest to get the big bottle of champagne here in Memphis. On deck, boys and girls 100-meter finals. Some local youth of Tennessee take the track next.
Remember me, I'm the one who had to Remember me, I'm the one who had to Remember me.
At City Auto, you'll find a gazillion reasons to buy your next vehicle. Find great selection and value conveniently online and in person. Find more than 35 brands and all the luxury models too. Find more for your trade. Find honest, friendly service. Find competitive financing and upfront pricing for a no-hassle car buying experience. City Auto. See a gazillion, find the one. Elmore Road off Covington Pike, Memphis. cityauto.com.
Back here in Memphis, the 8th annual Ed Murphey Track Classic continues. You're a part of the Puma American Track League, and Serenity Douglas has got a very special guest.
I sure do. Now, Max has been the meet director for about 8 years now, and this is the 8th annual Ed Murphey Classic. Now, what are these athletes looking for out of this meet?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the athletes are getting ready for Paris. We have a few that are going to Paris in 2 weeks. Aside from that, some athletes are trying to just get an extra competition before shutting down their season, and just coming out and trying to get some good performances.
And you live here in Memphis, so why is this such a good meet for the community?
Yeah, Memphis has a really a strong history of track. Youth, especially high school and middle school, we have lots of programs. So it's really nice to have these pro athletes coming here, showing what they do, showing the kids here in Memphis what's possible, really, if they keep at it and keep working hard. So it's really inspiration, and they become sort of mentors to them. So it's really great to have them here to talk and see our kids.
And they have a lot to look forward to this meet today and also tomorrow, street pole vault.
Yeah, 3-day event. Tomorrow it's going to be amazing. We'll be on Beale Street, headquartered at Handy Park across from Alfred's. We have the Beale Street pole vault, women at 5:30, men at 7:30. And then we also have a family open 1-mile road race starting at 3:30, or 4:30, excuse me.
Lots to look forward to. Thank you so much, Max.
Thank you, Serenity.
And we're also going to have Eddie Murphy tonight and Paul Doyle, so make sure you guys look forward to that as well.
All right, thank you, Serenity. Max Paquette, the best of the best. Guy works so hard to put on this great event every single year, and its 8th installment. There is the VIP area. I missed my ticket, must have been sent to my old address or something, but that looks like a great place to be tonight.
And right past the finish line, you gotta love that location. I want to know more about this family and friends mile. It's like I could get my family to run a fun, friendly mile. Gee whiz.
That Beale Street Games is so much fun. I had the chance to be out there for that last summer, and it is amazing because you get a lot of track and field fans who are going to come to the Beale Street Games who want to see some of these world-class pole vaulters. But some of the folks that have the most fun are the people who are just going out for a night on Beale Street who have no idea that the Beale Street Games are happening. Those are the people that end up loving it more than anybody, and they will join in and become very invested in that street vault tomorrow night. I know you've been in a street vault yourself. So much fun.
It really is. That pole vault runway, when you can pick it up and you can move it out into the middle of a nice party main street, when you can put it on a beach, when you can put it on a boardwalk. I actually won a pole vault competition clear back when I competed in 1995 in Tacoma, Washington. It was July 4th, and it was on a boardwalk in Tacoma, Washington. I made 17 feet. It poured rain. Nobody else made another bar, and they declared me the winner. And it was a pretty good field that year, as I recall. But that's just one of my big wins in the pole vault. If I can go back in time. But you talk a little bit about the community and how the pros coming here just do such a great job of inspiring the young people. And I think one of the things there's a renaissance recently over the last 6-7 years. So much good coaching because all the coaching is online. You can see what the pros are doing. You know, as a youth athlete, you can follow a program like Coach Carol Gilbert Smith at the University of Georgia. And so when these athletes come up through the youth programs, they hit high school, they go from high school to college, and they're producing in college at a very high level. So you can see how these feeder programs are really just taking after some of these pro programs, and you see the benefit of it. You know, when a pro meet comes to a town like this, we get a chance to see some of the youth athletes, and right now the youth are running quicker than ever.
And you get a pretzel, which is great as well for these three young men tonight. I remember growing up as a kid in Nashville, Tennessee, just about 3 hours down the road, the first time we had a pro meet where us as high schoolers could run in it as well. It's one of the only sports, if not the only sport, you can get in the world where you can literally, in the same competition, share the event area with someone. When I first ran in Nashville at a meet like this, guys were trying to break 4 minutes in the mile. I was trying to just get under 5 minutes as a 14-year-old in high school there in Tennessee.
And those are the kinds of track meets that I remember growing up with.
Yeah.
And you would see them, and it's, you know, the daytime, the youth runs, and all their family and friends come, and then the college guys run in the late afternoon, and then the pros run after that. But everybody sticks around. You know, you ran in the morning, you ran in the daytime as a youth athlete, but you wanted to stay and just get a glimpse of Carl Lewis. I went to the 1984 Junior Olympics in Los Angeles, did the decathlon, and believe it or not, Carl Lewis and I were in the same warm-up area, and I can remember seeing King Carl, and I don't even think I could concentrate on my warm-up because the heats of the 100 meters were coming up just 20 minutes after we ran the 100 meters in the decathlon, and all I wanted to do is just watch King Carl and Calvin Smith and those guys. So, but that's what's inspiring about this sport, and I love it when you get all the different levels of track and field throughout an entire day.
That is awesome. I think I'd still be speechless if I was just around Carl Lewis, the coach now at this point. Girls 100 final, followed by the boys coming up here shortly. And one of the cool things about the Puma American Track League is taking a couple of these sprint finals at the youth level and putting them in the pro meet program. This is Jasmine McClelland, a junior from nearby Bartlett High School here in Memphis, Tennessee, who has a personal best in the 100 of 12:07. Just saw her warm up out of the blocks right there. She was third at the AAA, now 4A state meet in the state of Tennessee. Two large public school classifications in the volunteer state. She's got her teammate Jayla Reed right to her outside, who will be in lane number 6. The junior as well from Bartlett, who is 6th at that state meet.
How about getting that call? You know, hey, during the Ed Murphey Classic, we'd love for you to come run 100 meters. And it's like, wait a minute, you know, we just saw Quinera Hayes. We just got a chance to see, you know, some of these great athletes, but to be put right in the middle. But this is experience. It's great experience for these young ladies. Deal with the nerves. Deal with you know, a time schedule and you know, timing your warm up and being ready to compete at a high level.
So there is our full field sharing the track with the pros tonight. They ran prelims last night, and Jasmine McClelland gets lane 5 by way of her 12:24. So McClellan with her teammate right to her outside, the 2 fastest times yesterday of 12:35 and 12:24.
You got your whole squad here. Your track club came out to watch you. A couple of athletes from that Murphy Track Club on the outside. Elite Feet represented here. Youth Track and Field of Memphis, Rutherford County. I'll tell you, track and field moms scream louder than anybody.
That's right. This might be the loudest cheer you hear all night for the youth races. No doubt. And I can tell you firsthand that summer track and field in the city of Memphis is a very, very big deal. There are some very, very quick sprint groups specifically that train out of Memphis, Tennessee this time of year. And when you split the state of Tennessee, West Tennessee, Middle, and East, usually you get to that state meet weekend before Memorial Day in Murfreesboro, Tennessee every year, and it is this, what they call here the state of Memphis, that is very well represented in all of those sprints. So McClellan will be our favorite. Ariana Isbell making that trip from Middle Tennessee out of Rutherford County, running in lane 4. She ran 12:4 yesterday. And the duo from Bartlett High School, right down the road, the 2 juniors in 5 and 6. It's a clean start in our girls' 100-meter final, and there goes Jasmine McClelland. Bartlett High School and the home turf defended for the junior. And she runs just off of her personal best, 12:11 to take the win, and her Bartlett High School teammate Jayla Reed right behind her in 12:48. Ariana Isbell taking third in 12:49.
Well, 12:11, quicker than she ran in the preliminaries in the qualifying round. But what you see in these young athletes is not what you didn't see this 20 years ago, 15 years ago. Young athletes running with really good, solid technical form. And Jasmine McClellan, we got a great drone shot here. There you see her just pulling away. Ariana Isbell, she's gonna have to go back and look at this race. She ran almost the entire race on that line. Probably wouldn't get disqualified, but look at the form, good arm swing. You know, her run is right in front of her, tucked underneath her hips, nice turnover. And see, that's just a young athlete, and I'm sure, you know, college coaches are gonna spot that, identify it, and just there's so much great coaching going on now at the high school level. These young athletes come out of high school, step into college, and instantly we see them at the NCAA championships, and conference championships, producing points and scoring for some of these big D1 schools. And that's been unheard of for a lot of different years. So it's fun to see these athletes out here giving it their best.
And you said something there too. You can look back at the video. I mean, how rare is that for a lot of these runners who don't have videos of a lot of their races to look back at? You got drone video of your race. So girls 100, making way now for the guys who are on deck. And a group of runners that was anywhere from 10:64, the top qualifying time for Zachariah Taylor, up to the low 11:2s. And a young man in Zachariah Taylor who's got a personal best of 10:55. Senior from Kenwood High School in Clarksville, Tennessee. Right outside of Nashville, making the trip here to Memphis as well.
Well, and I love the discipline of these young athletes as well. The one and done rule has really it's just not in the pros anymore. You see it in college, clear down in high school. And you know, when I was coming up, it's false start after false start, and now it's, you know, one false start and you are out. And these young athletes have really shown great discipline. And you're not seeing a lot of false starts in these high school races anymore. Zachariah Taylor, certainly the class of the field on paper. 10:55 is a personal best, and he was 6th at the state meet And I think 6 other athletes in the state of Tennessee were quicker than he was. And I'm always amazed. I live in Phoenix, Arizona now, and I don't think we have anybody in the state that runs faster than probably 10:40. But you know, I wonder. It's like, we're a pretty big city. Phoenix is a pretty big city. Why do, you know, still to this day, all the fastest kids in the country come from Texas and Florida.
That's right. So this is the boys 100 final, and coming up in just over 10 minutes, we're going to have the men's 100 final at the professional level as well. The field that will include the second fastest man of all time, Yohan Blake, who is in that final coming up here in just a few minutes. American PJ Austin and talented sprinter Emmanuel Matadi that will headline that group that ran a prelim round earlier this afternoon too. But we will literally go straight from the youth hundreds to the pro hundreds.
And if any of these young gentlemen here, they play football and run track and field,
yes,
more power to you. Enjoy it now, though, while you can, because you get into college and it's very, very rare.
And there is Zachariah Taylor, the young man from Kenwood High School, recent Kenwood graduate from Clarksville. Justin Gray, Memphis native Carlos Humphreys there in lane 7. Randon Johnson, Monte Holiday, the two. It's like Johnson absent in 8, so Holiday in 9, getting that outside lane. I love all the poker faces from these guys as well, trying to look as serious as possible with the camera right there. I'd be doing the exact same thing.
Well,
it's like a lot less intimidating.
Well, and they're not quite used to it. You know, you get into the Diamond
That's
League, and then they prep you ahead of time. They say, hey, look, the camera's going to go on you. You know, the best thing you can do for your own image and your own marketing is wave. You know, give us some kind of a fun face before you start your race. And I'm always so amazed at athletes getting ready to run hard races who are able to smile into the camera.
That's right.
You're getting a real feel from these young guns right here. This is all business.
So before our pro men take the track in the 100 final, this is high school boys 100. Zachariah Taylor after a 10:64 yesterday. Looking to go even quicker here tonight at the University of Memphis. He is in lane 5. Pretty even start. Good start in lane number 4 for Asante Stovall, but there goes Zachariah Taylor, stepping away from this field, and he will finish through the line. The winner of the boys 100. Not quite as quick as yesterday, but still excellent in the Memphis heat. 10:74 for the Clarksville, Tennessee native. Justin Gray taking second in 11:1.
Well, good running for Zachariah Taylor there in the middle of the track. We'll get a chance to see his start, but they lost Asante Stovall about halfway down in lane 4. It looked like he had a little bit of an injury problem. He was able to finish the race. But let's take a look at this. Take a look at this start. You know, a couple guys popped up after the first 2 strides. You know, certainly we're used to seeing these professionals, but look at the acceleration by Taylor. You talk about winning the 100 meters should you reach your top speed, and it looked like Zachary Taylor, he got his top speed right at about 70 meters, 65, 70 meters, and just pulled away from this field. Nice run there in the middle of the track.
So Taylor is the winner. And downstairs, Serenity Douglas has another very special guest, the son of the namesake of this meet, Ed Murphey, standing by with Serenity.
Absolutely, so excited. This is my bestie here, Mr. Eddie Murphy. Now talk to me about why this meet is so important for the Memphis community.
You know, to be in Memphis year 8 and to come from nothing, from something that just the community can wrap their arms around this thing and really lift Memphis, lift America, and really put track and field on the map besides Eugene, Oregon. We are bound and determined with all our might to make it the best meet we can.
Now, why is it so important for you to mix in the youth with the professional athletes?
Well, you know, after COVID and all the things that are going on, there's a lot of problems in a lot of inner cities, and the ability to take track and field and apply it to things that are going on locally and to give back to the community and make our kids learn all the great disciplines that you learn in track and field. All the things it takes to be great, take care of your body, discipline, hard work. We're instilling those in our youth, and that's really a great thing. That's all we want to do.
It absolutely is a great thing, and they have so much to look forward to with the street pole vault tomorrow down in the heart of Memphis. Let's talk about that.
Oh, the big dogs are eating tomorrow night. We got 5 of the top 10 in the world. I mean, Sam Kendricks, Chris Nielsen. With 21,000 people down there last year, it is a sight to see. Absolutely. We learned it from Zurich. We'll take that and we'll put a little Southern hospitality on it and make it even better.
A little sprinkle of Southern hospitality. You got to do it every time. Thank you so much, Eddie, and back to you, Will.
All right, thank you so much, Serenity, the fantastic Eddie Murphy. We got 6 races left here tonight of the Ed Murphey Classic. Do not go anywhere. An elite men's 100 is next.
Remember me, I'm the one who had you, baby. Remember me, I'm the one who had you, baby. Remember me.
At City Auto, you'll find a gazillion reasons to buy your next vehicle. Find great selection and value conveniently online and in person. Find more than 35 brands and all the luxury models too. Find more for your trade. Find honest, friendly service. Find competitive financing and upfront pricing for a no-hassle car buying experience. City Auto. See a gazillion, find the one. Elmore Road off Covington Pike, Memphis. cityauto.com.
We are here in Memphis. This is the 8th annual Ed Murphey Track Classic in honor of Tennessee Sports Hall of Famer and former Tennessee volunteer Ed Murphy. This is our schedule of what we've got left. Yohan Blake will take the track coming up here in just a moment. The men's 100-meter final, followed by a spectacular women's 200. This meet began as the Ed Murphy Mile, so of course we've got to have the Ed Murphy 1500, the women and the men on deck after that. And then after prelim rounds at the beginning of our coverage here tonight in Memphis, hurdle finals that will be very quick to finish off our competition here at the Puma American Track League at the Ed Murphey Classic. Dan O'Brien, Will Bowling with you, our spectacular crew, bringing you the aerial coverage here from Memphis. Dan, I'm obsessed with these drone shots, and our crew is crushing it and bringing it to us tonight.
Well, it's a view that you just don't get to really see in this track. You just see what a beautiful layout that is. And I'm always interested as a multi-event athlete, look at the D zones. I want to see the D zones. I want to see which directions they have the long jump able to go, because in a decathlon, a heptathlon, you want to run with a good wind, and as they call up the guys in the 100 meters. But it was great to hear from Eddie Murphy. You can tell this guy loves the sport of track and field. So much passion there. He can hardly contain himself when he talks about that men's and women's pole vault tomorrow night.
Yeah, the mission of the Murphy Track Club to empower Memphis youth to pursue healthy lifestyles through track and field competition, free clinics, and coaching. They share the track with these spectacular pros. This is Brandon Hicklin. He'll be in lane 3, 7th at the U.S. Olympic Trials, and a personal best of 9:94.
Well, I think we're going to see some fast times here tonight. The wind has been slightly in the face of these athletes on the straightaways. But I think we could still see a couple of guys dip under 10 flat. But this is a tremendous field. When you look at the lineup, there's only 3 guys in this field that haven't broken 10 seconds.
And PJ Austin had a great start to the Puma American Track League season about a month and a half ago in Atlanta. He will be right beside Hicklin in lane 4.
Well, the outstanding Gator, Florida Gator, and you just see, when you look at the U.S. Olympic team, you look at the World Championship team, just peppered with Florida Gators throughout. That just goes to show what great track and field program Mike Holloway has produced down there in Gainesville. And there you see the beast, Yohan Blake, second fastest man of all time.
Was talking to the media yesterday in Memphis, Yohan Blake saying, I'm continuing to compete. I just love running. And he said, I love impacting the next generation. A lot of Jamaican track fans wanting to see what their next generation looks like at the Paris Olympic Games this upcoming summer. They got a couple superstars that are in spectacular form, and this guy has inspired many of them.
Well, and what's interesting is you get kind of lost with Jamaican sprinters when Usain Bolt comes around. Everybody else gets a little bit forgotten, but you know, don't forget Yohan Blake. He was the guy who won the world championship when Usain Bolt started out, and this is, you know, to say he's the second fastest man in history. It's absolutely amazing. And Asafa Powell as well. You know, and Asafa Powell is one of those guys who's really supported the American Track League over the years. So it's nice to see Yohan Blake still making an impact on this sport. You think about some of the young guys, Kashane Thompson and Oblique Seville, who are trying to follow in the footsteps of Yohan Blake.
In the prelim round, it was Emmanuel Matadi who had the fastest time. And it was in a minus 2.0 headwind. You mentioned it's died down maybe a little bit as the meet has continued tonight. So Matadi will get that middle lane in lane number 5. He's headed to the Paris Games and actually ran the Olympic standard at this meet last year, August 4th, last summer, right down the road at Rhodes College, running 9:97 here right down the road. This is a fascinating event, Dan, at 100 meters coming up, and of course the headliner maybe of the entire men's U.S. Olympic team is of course Noah Lyles.
Well, and what you gotta love about Noah Lyles is he's calling his shot. He says, hey, watch me win the 100, watch me win the 200, watch me, you know, win it in a 4x1, and if they let me, I'm gonna run a 4th event, the 4x4, and I don't imagine they're gonna let him. You never know, but he's done a lot for the sport, and for a lot of years, everybody was wondering who's gonna take Usain Bolt's position, who's gonna be the next great great world sprinter, and really become a superstar in the sport. And I love the fact that Noah Lyles, and you ask him, it's like, how are you able to stand up there and say, hey guys, I'm this good, and watch me, and he says he loves just talking things into existence. And there's his brother Josephus. They train together, you know, and this is a little bit out of place for Josephus Lyles because we're used to seeing him in the 200 meters. I'd love to see Josephus come up and move into the 400 meters, perhaps. There you see a good shot of Yohan Blake. Somebody who I think we need to keep an eye out in this field is Aaron Brown from Canada. He's going to represent Canada again, but he's got a heck of a 4x1 team going. Look out for Canada in that 4x1. Aaron Brown, Jerome Blake, Brendan Rodney, and of course Andre DeGrasse. Never count those guys out of a medal at the Olympics or the World Championships.
Yeah, that was a big deal, of course, up in Canada when they were able to win in Eugene in that 2022 World Championships. Olympic silver and bronze in Tokyo and Rio for Brown as well. So a veteran Canadian relay sprinter who is headed to Paris in this field as well. The two Paris Olympians, Matadi and Brown. Matadi in 5 and Brown in 7. Yohan Blake, you can't miss him there in the Puma kit, running in lane 8. And the young American and former Florida Gator star, PJ Austin, running in lane 4. Clean start of the men's 100-meter final here from Memphis. There is Brandon Hicklin of the United States running well in lane number 3. Here comes PJ Austin in 4 right at the finish. And it's Austin once again. 10:04 for the former Florida Gator, 2 American Track League meets and 2 victories in the summer of 2024. Emmanuel Matadi taking second in 10:1. Brandon Hicklin, after that great start, rounds out the top 3 in 10:12.
Well, just 2 100ths off of his season best. He's got to be happy with that run. We get a chance to see what the wind is doing down there. But PJ Austin, he looked great in the last 40 meters. Good drive phase out there for Austin. He and Brandon Hicklin battling a couple of guys from the SEC going at it once again. But there was about 40 meters to go. Looked like PJ Austin just shifted into overdrive, started stepping away from the other athletes there. But he has run under 10 seconds with a pretty solid tailwind. But 10:02 is a seasonal best, 10:04 today. And these athletes, I love it. They cross the line and they know right where to look. Where's that clock? Where is that clock? But PJ Austin, such a useful sprinter for the Florida Gators. Big part of their success in the 4x100 meters and the sprints, even the long jump, while he was a Florida Gator.
Well, PJ Austin's getting to know Serenity Douglas very well, a winner once again in the American Track League downstairs.
Now, PJ, you look directly at the clock right when you cross the line. It's because you've just been fighting with this 10:02, 10:04. Let's talk about that a little bit. And are you pleased with your run?
Yeah, I'm pleased with the run. You know, I don't really chase time, so whatever time flashes up, I'm happy with it. It's a good race. We're healthy, so we move on.
So then what are you going to be working on now?
Start. Still working on getting good runs in. Hopefully I can run more meets, and that's about it.
Now, speaking of more meets, there is another American Track League meet at your home college. Will you be there, and are you going to be representing?
Yeah, of course I'll be there, you know. Gator for life. That's my home track, so we're going to pop out house for fun.
All right, now speaking of having fun, congratulations on your win, and you're going to go right over there. Will?
All right, thank you, Serenity. Get you some champagne there, PJ. Shake that thing up. Mary Grace Murphy, Billy Saveco helping him out with it. There you go. After the win. Interesting, I like what he said about I don't chase times. I'm healthy. It's a good effort. Move on to the next one.
What track and field athlete doesn't chase time? Come on now. We all chase times, right? And when you're not trying to beat somebody else, you're trying to just go faster than you've ever gone before. But you know, PJ Austin, he just, you know, it's a good idea. It's like, hey, look, I'm not out here chasing times. I'm trying to execute, and he executed very well there. And he pointed out, he said, look, I got to get better at my start, and his start was solid today, but I'm sure he can do it a little bit better. But he's coming off a very good post-collegiate season here. 10, when you're around 10 flat on a consistent basis, you know things are going well for you. He was 7th at the Olympic trials, so to get in those finals just a couple years removed from college is a big accomplishment for him.
Another angle of our men's 100, the women's 200 on deck. 5 races to go from the 8th annual Ed Murphey Track Classic.
Reasons to buy your next vehicle. Find great selection and value conveniently online and in person. Find more than 35 brands and all the luxury models too. Find more for your trade. Find honest, friendly service. Find competitive financing and upfront pricing for a no-hassle car buying experience. City Auto. See a gazillion, find the one. Elmore Road off Covington Pike, Memphis. cityauto.com.
There's an overhead view at our facility here, the University of Memphis, the home of the 8th annual Ed Murphey Classic. And downstairs, Serenity Douglas is standing by with the 2nd fastest man ever at 100 meters. Yohan Blake is with Serenity.
Yohan, thank you so much for even coming back around here. But you spoke a lot in the press conference about just motivating the youth. And while you're still running, talk to me about what you want the youth to know, some advice that you have for them.
I first have to give God thanks. You know, I felt good in the heats, and I just felt my leg a little bit in the finals. But I could see the support of the kids, you know, just to come out here and show them that no matter what, the sky's the limit. always push yourself, always believe that anything is possible. And as we spoke about, without a doubt.
Absolutely. Now, talk to me about the 100-meter field. There's Noah Lyles. There's Oblique Seville as well. So many great young talent athletes, and that used to be you at some point a long time ago. But please speak to me about that field and how these young athletes are really just showing up and showing out.
You know, back then, me, Usain, Asafa, Gatlin, Tyson, the field was crazy. I love to see what Noah Lyles, Oblique Seville, Shane Thompson, Clean Blake, and to name four more or many other. They're coming through and they're producing great times, you know, make the sport excited again. I love it. I love the showmanship. You know, I love the camaraderie. I love everything that they're doing and just to push the sport forward.
Now, I don't always get to ask the second fastest man in the world this, but I'm going to put you on the spot here. Who's the Olympic champion this year in the 100?
As once as anybody get to the finals, I believe it's open because not everybody can manage pressure, and I don't want to single out anybody because anything is possible. But if I should root, I have to root for my countrymen.
Thank you so much. Make sure you take a whole lot of pictures with all the athletes. I know they are just waiting for you. Thank you, Yohan.
Yeah, man, thank you. I just want to say, you know, this is a great meet. The American Track League, it's building, and I just want to tell the folks, just support it, support your local athletes, and come out and support it.
Well, you heard it from the best. Well,
thank you, Serenity. Yohan Blake cutting a promo for us here at the American Track League. I love it.
Very political answer there. He must be running for office here down the road. He did not want to pick a winner in that 100 meters, but he said, "Hey, you got, you know, if when it comes down to it, I got to root for my countrymen." He's got a couple of good ones to root for.
Oh, Shane Thompson against Noah Lyles. That entire crew is going to be so much fun to watch. Coming up later this summer, just a couple weeks in Paris. Here in Memphis, we've got a women's 200-meter final on deck. And this is a U.S. Olympic Trials semifinalist. Candace Hill was 7th in the 100-meter final at the U.S. Trials, a season's best at 200 of 22.61.
Back in 2016, she was a world junior champion in the 200 meters here, and she's having one of the better seasons I've seen her have over the last couple of years, and really has taken her running to another level. Just seems more dedicated than ever. Certainly just I think coming at it from a little bit more of a mature approach. But I know that the 200 meters was not in the schedule, originally. So it's nice to see this sprint ad here late in the week.
So Candace Hill, the runner we're watching there in 6th. Shannon Ray will be right to her outside, another U.S. Trials semifinalist in the 100 meters. Personal best of 22.82, the second fastest in this field.
A former teammate of Bailey Lear, who won the 400 meters, Kaiser Chandler on the outside there, formerly of USC Pac-12 champ, an All-American, running for the Shield.
Hafsatu Kamara in lane number 8, 32-year-old, her 5th 200-meter dash of the year. She's run close to her personal best this season, 23.89, her season's best. 23.83 is her career best. At 32 years of age, running at a high level, she's in the all-white there in lane 8. Looking for Candace Hill headlining this field, running in lane 6 in our women's 200. Clean start of the women's 200 from Memphis, Tennessee, and Candace Hill is out very quickly, making up the stagger on the two runners directly to her outside. Looking for a quick time here tonight at the University of Memphis. Candace Hill will power down the straightaway and take the win. We watch the clock for the American sprinter. Slight headwind, 22.7, just a tick off of that season's best.
Well, and right now in the U.S., the 200 meters is absolutely stacked on the top. Gabby Thomas up there, Brittany Brown, Mackenzie Long of Ole Miss. They are running so fast, but to see Candace Hill make that final, really be a factor in that race. Here you see Candace Hill, good start for her, and look at that, just nice forward lean. I tell all my sprinters, Got to be leaning in the direction you're going. At no point in 100 meters or 200 meters should an athlete be standing straight up and down. A good running mechanics. See a little bit of fatigue there at the very end for Candace Hill, but a nice solid run for her. But you know, we think about the different events, the 100 meters, the 200 meters, and right now I think about the 200 meters is like good chance for a couple of Americans to get in there and medal. And then outside the top three, you got somebody like Sha'Carri.
22-7 the win for Candace Hill, and a chat with Serenity Douglas.
All right, Candace, congratulations on the win. Now, we saw you in the 100 earlier. Did you use that as just kind of like your warm-up for this 200 here today, or what were you really focusing on?
In the 100, I was really focusing on just going through my race plan, getting a good start, driving, and then standing up tall and having quick momentum. And so I feel like that set me up well for the 200.
And you have been doing really well in the 200 lately. We saw you in the 150 in Atlanta right before trials, and then we also saw you in trials. So please speak to me about what have you been working on this season?
Really just my start. My start's the weakest part of my race, and so training with a good group of ladies, Fabro Philly, Aaliyah Haas, and Kai Briscoe, they all have wonderful starts, and so just lining up with them at practice, it had just really gave me a lot of confidence coming out here.
And I saw that really pretty smile when you saw that 22-7. Are you happy with it?
I am. I was really trying to focus on the first curve because that's kind of where I get lost in the race sometimes. But hopefully, Coach Shaver said it was a good time. So, yeah.
Well, whatever the GOAT says goes. Congratulations on your win, and now you can go ahead and go celebrate.
All right, thank you, Serenity.
Well.
All right, a happy Candace Hill after her win in the 200. As we continue here tonight in Memphis, just got a couple races left to go. We've got 1500s on deck, and then fast hurdle finals will finish off the night. The party continues in the Ed Murphey Classic after this.
At City Auto, you'll find a gazillion reasons to buy your next vehicle. Find great selection and value conveniently online and in person. Find more than 35 brands and all the luxury models too. Find more for your trade. Find honest, friendly service. Find competitive financing and upfront pricing for a no-hassle car buying experience. City Auto. See a gazillion, find the one. Elmore Road off Covington Pike, Memphis. cityauto.com.
Back in Memphis, the Ed Murphey Classic continues, and every time the American Track League comes to Memphis, you see this young lady, and she's got quite a resume now. Serenity Douglas is here with Allasia Johnson.
Look, the resume speaks for itself. She is going to the Olympics in the 100 hurdles. First of all, congratulations on that, Lay. But what made you come out here and do the 100?
Just a little speed work. You know, sometimes you want to do something different than what you always are doing. So just to put myself in a different light, just a little speed work, nothing crazy.
Now, what are you most excited for about going to the Olympics? Has your life changed yet? Or like, do you think it's going to change after Paris?
My life is the same. So who knows? I'm just going day by day.
All right, tell me what you're wearing.
This is Pretty Little Thing on the warm-up, and then it's an old custom Savage X Fenty uniform that I had on for the finals.
All right, now we got to throw it back to Olympic trials a little bit. That was the fastest race in history. You had such an emotional speech afterwards. Where did that speech come from?
You know, it's just life. Like I've lived a lot of life. I've lived a lot of different journeys. I say I've lived like a cat, like 9 lives. So for me, it's just being able to really express like what part of my journey that I'm here at now and how much I've overcome.
Thank you so much, Lake. You look great, run great, and good luck in Paris.
Thank y'all.
Well,
I love it. Allasia Johnson has more fun in the sport of track and field than I feel like 90% of track and field athletes. I love it.
Well, and she's so fun to follow on social media. 118,000 followers on Instagram. She's always saying something interesting, wearing something interesting, and she just shows like, I'm just Lele on social media. She said her life hasn't changed. Come on.
That's right.
When you make an Olympic team, every morning you wake up, there's a smile on your face. Your life changes after you make that Olympic team. Trust me.
Absolutely. Allasia Johnson, who trains in the city of Memphis, has worked with John Morant's trainer. Of course, that is Memphis royalty, the Memphis Grizzlies guard. So wish Allasia all the best as she continues her preparations for the Paris Games. Well, this is the Ed Murphey Classic. A couple years ago, this was the Ed Murphey Mile when this meet originally began, in honor of Ed Murphey, the Brownsville, Tennessee native who was an SEC champion in the mile at the University of Tennessee. This is Anna Camp-Bennett, an NCAA champion for BYU. She will have on hip number 3 here in this women's 1500. And a talented Kenyan, Flomena Asakal, will challenge her, the Florida Gator who started her career at Alabama. And a part of that dynamic duo, Parker Valby at the long distance races and Flomena Asakal in this 1500.
Well, she helped the Lady Gators win a NCAA team title. She was more than willing to jump in the 1500 meters, jump in the 800, get in a 5K when the Gators needed her. You just mentioned Parker Valby as well. What a season she's had. She's made an Olympic team. Nice to see that season for Parker Valby end up on an Olympic team. Just one of the most outstanding last 2 seasons of any college athlete ever. Every race she ran, she won, broke records in. So there, get to see one of her college teammates. But look at the Americans in this race, and there are a lot of them.
A very deep field of 17 athletes that'll be paced by Rachel Walters, who has been tasked with taking them through 800 to 1,000 at about 4:03 pace. In a field with personal bests around 4:04 to 4:10 plus. Got Laurie Barton in there as well, the NCAA runner-up at 800 meters in 2021. Michaela DeGenero, another NCAA champion and indoors in the mile, competing for the Colorado Buffaloes, 26 years old in her 2nd year as a pro and sporting the Puma kits. Addie Bergson, Angelina Ellis, Gracie Morris, the TCU Horned Frog athlete. Ellis, the spectacular steeplechase runner, 1,500 meters. Off and running here from Memphis, the namesake of the Ed Murphey Classic, Ed Murphey, the former SEC champion. The inspiration for this event, with 4 races to go here tonight in the American Track League.
Well, and look at the start of this race. Everybody's out really quickly. How do you stay out of trouble? How do you keep from getting tangled up with other people? Go out a little bit quick, get in the front, stay out of trouble. But this is a very big field. A lot of experience. You have a lot of experience to run in a big field like this. Know where you're at. Know where you'll be able to keep your arms out, retain your position. There you see Asakal back there in 5th place. Camp-Bennett hanging out in 3rd. Like the position for Asakal. She's running maybe a meter or 2 farther every lap on the outside of lane 1, but certainly nobody crowding her from that position.
So tasked with taking them through in about 4:03 pace. Rachel Walters, the pacer, continues with Barton right behind her. Anna Camp-Bennett in spectacular position there as well. And the drone shot showing you the tempo. Asakal looks like she's in a great spot there in the outside of lane number 1, trying to cut in to keep from running that extra distance.
Well, you're talking 4:03, 4:02, 4:03 pace. That'll be personal best and seasonal best for this entire field. Coming in on paper, Assicle has run 4:06 this season. Camp Bennett 4:06.95 this season. Lori Barton 4:07.68. De Janeiro had a good run at the U.S. Road Mile. She was third place in that, comes away with a bronze medal earlier this season.
2 laps to go. As Walters continues to pace, we'll try to get a split here at the 800 mark. And a little bit off that pace, but not by a ton, right around 2:12, maybe unofficially there at 800. So looking at closer to 4:07, 4:08 pace, as Assicle and the rest of this field will follow Anna Camp-Bennett running out in front. There's Hannah Steelman, the former NC State runner, swinging around the outside, joining that front group.
Well, and as the Rabbit stepped off, I think Anna Camp-Bennett got some instruction from a coach on the side. She pushed the pace. She came right up behind the Rabbit. She knows this pace is a little bit slow. Look at now, she's got to do all the work by herself, but she got great turnover, good arm right here. She is doing a wonderful job of just speeding things up.
Anna Camp-Bennett, who PB'd here last year, a semifinalist at the U.S. Trials and a season's best of 4:05.62. She will try to take aim at that over the final quarter. And Steelman has moved up into second, a spectacular race for Hannah Steelman, who competed in the 5K at the U.S. Trials, looking for a big PB. 4:17.74 is her career best. She's looking to smash that here tonight.
But that gap seems to be opening a little bit now as Anna Camp-Bennett begins to show just a little bit signs of fatigue. And then we see Maddie Bergson moving into second position. She's got a nice stride going. Look, she looks like she's got more energy left in the last 200 meters here.
Bergson, the Stanford product from Providence, Rhode Island, trying to cut down this gap, give herself a chance into the final 100 as Anna Camp-Bennett aggressively taking the lead on lap 3. Can she hold on in the final 100? The 2021 NCAA champion, Anna Camp-Bennett, looking very strong in the final 50 meters. She is your winner in the women's 1500. 4:06.36 and 4:07.83 the time for Maddie Bergson. That is a new career best. Gracie Morris will round out the top 3, 4:09.38. Laurie Barton, Angelina Ellis, your top 5.
Well, what a great last 200 or 800 meters, for Anna Camp-Bennett. She knew the pace was a little bit slow, and she really picked things up with about a lap and 3/4 to go, but she goes 4:06.36, and that is a seasonal best. That's a seasonal best. But you know, as a coach, all you want your athlete to do is just follow the instructions. You know what? The Rabbit's out there to help you. Anna Camp-Bennett did a wonderful job of that. That was a little slow. You know, I might not pay that Rabbit the bonus, but just took him through a little bit slow. But no, it looked like she just followed her coach's instructions to a T. So when the pace got slow, she picked it up and she finished it all by herself up front. And that is tough to do, running that last part of the race all by yourself.
4:06.36 is the time for Anna Camp-Bennett in our women's 1500. As you see the full results cycling through there, big 7-second career best for Hannah Steelman, who was aggressive there on that 3rd lap as well. And our field of 14 here in Memphis, Anna Camp-Bennett standing by with Serenity.
Fantastic run. Please speak to me about, was that your race strategy out there to just take it out hard and run by yourself?
Yeah, I've previously been like a sit and kick kind of athlete, and I'm trying to just like expound my range a little bit. So yeah, that was kind of my race plan. Yeah.
Now, what do you think your coach would say about this run today?
I think she'd be pretty happy with it. I think she'd be proud. Yeah, I think I think like I fought, so she'll be happy.
Now, what else are you going to be working on now? Do you have any more meets?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the Sunset Sound meet in LA and do an 800, get some speed work in. It'll be really fun.
And that's just a good way to end off the season. And are you happy with it?
I'm happy with it. Hoping to race a little bit overseas, but yeah, we'll see what works out and stuff. So, yeah.
All right, well, congratulations, and please go celebrate. Will, back to you.
All right, thank you, Serenity. There are a lot of things I want to do after 1500, and talking intelligently has never been one of them. As she will get the champagne. Great job of breaking down her own race right there for us as we get ready for the Ed Murphey Men's 1500 on deck as the party continues in Memphis.
At City Auto, you'll find a gazillion reasons to buy your next vehicle. Find great selection and value conveniently online and in person. Find more than 35 brands and all the luxury models too. Find more for your trade. Find honest, friendly service. Find competitive financing and upfront pricing for a no-hassle car buying experience. City Auto. See a gazillion, find the one. Elmore Road off Covington Pike, Memphis. cityauto.com.
Back in Memphis, the Ed Murphey Classic continues from the University of Memphis in honor of SEC champion Ed Murphy. Will Bowling, Dan O'Brien with you. Serenity Douglas down there in the heat on the track as they introduce our runners, and Henry Wynn, NCAA champion competing for the Virginia Cavaliers. He is the man to watch in this field, the fastest PB that he ran earlier this year. Just a couple of weeks ago at the Olympic trials, 3:32.94.
Well, fastest personal best, or excuse me, fastest seasonal time and the fastest personal best in the field. But I can't help but think about a race that went off earlier today, Monaco, the Diamond League. Jakob Ingebrigtsen goes 3:26.74. Jared Negrus was fourth in that race, right at 3:30. And you talk about some of these other events that are blowing up. 800 meters on the men's side, the 1500 meters. You're gonna have to run 3:29 or better to get an Olympic medal. The 1500 meters right now is absolutely off the chain. But Henry Wynn, one of the better guys, one of the best guys in the U.S. this year. He'll be running against, it looks like his Brooks teammate there, Waleed Suleiman, the former Old Miss running Reb. He comes in here with a seasonal best of 3:35.72, SEC champ. While he was there, I think he's 3 years removed now from college, trying to make a name for himself as a post-collegiate athlete.
Yeah, injury shortening his 2023 season, back at it with a personal best earlier this year, 3:35.72. 5 of the athletes of our 15 here in this field have PBs this outdoor season. A couple of them including Henry Wynn at the U.S. Olympic trials just a few weeks ago. Wynn was 6th there. Hip number 9, Davis Bove, is in this field, a 23-year-old from Franklin, Tennessee, and Middle Tennessee, an LSU Tiger, who has competed in triathlons since he was a high school athlete. I think I actually raced against him myself a couple of times. And he'll be in this field as well. 1,500 meters off and running. A cool note on Ed Murphy, the namesake of this meet, the Ed Murphey Classic. He holds the facility record for Neyland Stadium. The football home of the Tennessee Volunteers used to be the track way back in the day when he ran it, was converted just into football. So always great when you get a facility record and that facility just takes the track out. That one can stand forever.
Well, we just had a little bit of a trip there in the back of the pack. We've got to stay tuned to see who we lost. But I was going to say, hey, let's point out a couple more guys in this race. Duncan Hamilton, of course, a great steeplechaser out of Montana State, now running for the Bowerman Track Club. He's in the field here as well. And so is Kieran Tuntavate, the youngster from Thailand. He ran 3:36 earlier this year, had a big win at the Oregon Relays, improved his all-time personal best this season in the 1,500 meters.
So the pacer is Eric Avila, taking him through 800 to 1,000 and 3:33 1,500 meter pace. That is what he is being tasked with here tonight. And the product of Arizona State, John Reinowicki. What a great story he has. A runner originally at 10,000 meters, goes down to 5,000. He has now found a home at 1,500. He broke a 40-year-old Drake Relays record earlier this season, 3:36.44, run by Steve Scott. And he is the man that has taken this thing out in front of Wynn. Here coming up on 2 to go in the Ed Murphey men's 1,500 meters.
Well, John Renwicky, I had a chance to coach with his father last year at Chaparral High School in Scottsdale, Arizona. His father's an outstanding distance coach and a good high jump coach as well, but he didn't coach this year so that he could follow his son around and really keep track of what his son John Renwicky was doing. He's having a heck of a season there in second position.
So Renwicky going out quick 3 years ago, excuse me, his personal best was 3:48.7. As Avila will step off at 1,000, right around 2:09, 2:10 unofficially. It's Renwicky, Suleiman, and Henry Wynn, the man with the fastest PB in this group, rounding out that top three. You got Justin Koech in there as well, the man who was 12th at the Kenyan Championships, a season's best for him of 3:37.29. He's going to come right up on Henry Wynn's right shoulder. And it's going to be Walid Suleiman now who's going to take this thing through 2:38 at the bell.
And Sean McGordy, he's just moved into 4th position. There you see him in the Bowerman uniform on the inside. He made it all the way into the rail, but he was 6th at the U.S. Olympic trials in the 5K, so keep an eye on him.
Right around 2:53 at 1,200. We're looking at 3:34, 3:35 pace. This is quick here in this men's 1,500. And here comes Henry Wynn with Koech right to his outside. The long distance strength of Sean McGordy hanging out here in this top three as well. Suleiman, he's got the grimace and he was not going away. This is a grandstand finish in the men's 1,500. Henry Wynn, Justin Koech. Sean McGordy says, don't forget about me, but Wynn is gonna take it. Winning again in Memphis. The two-time defending Ed Murphy men's 1,500 meter champion. He won last year. He came back for more. 3:33.33 right off the PB for Henry Wynn.
Well, 3s across the board for Henry Wynn, and you can see with 200 meters to go, the look of determination on his face. He was not about to give up that lead. But I'll tell you, this is a big field, and with a big field like this, 17 in a field like this, guys can get tripped up. Here you see clear in the back, that's number 15, that's Nick Dahl. Yeah, and there a yellow flag went up almost immediately. And here you see Renwicky take over the lead as Avila steps off to the side with a lap and 3/4 to go. Suleiman and Henry Wynn was in perfect position now to just let somebody else do the work. Let somebody else do the work until the last 300 meters of that race. But I just love the look of determination on Henry Wynn's face in the last part of this race. You could just tell he was not going to be denied. When you've had victory here once before, you want it again.
He's tasted champagne once. He's about to get a big old bottle of it again as Henry Wynn pointing to the crowd.
That's right. Even celebrates a little bit early. I love it.
So right off the PB for him in an excellent race. A personal best for Koech. A massive PB for Sean McGordy of 3 seconds running there in 3rd. Walid Suleiman, he gets a personal best as well. Sam Gilman taking 5th in 3:35.4. That's a personal best. PBs all around. But the win in the champagne for the 2nd straight year goes to Henry Wynn, and Serenity Douglas is downstairs with our winner.
Henry is just soaking up all the good feels. He said he loves 3:33. Talk to me about how you just made sure that you didn't get tripped up in this, because it can get really chippy in the 1,500.
Yeah, the start was very fast. Walid and John took it out, so I just got in behind them, stuck on the pacer. Honestly, I wanted to use them a little bit tonight. Just I knew Walid would take over at some point, and then for me, the last 400 meters, I just wanted to close it down and make sure that we could run a fast time, and I was hoping to win, so I was happy to get it.
Now, obviously, Olympic trials did not go how you would have wanted it to go. So how were you able to get remotivated and come out here today and with such a positive attitude, too?
Yeah, I mean, I PB'd at the Olympic trials by almost 2 seconds, so I couldn't be upset with that. I was very proud of my performance. So now it's just coming out here this summer and proving that I'm one of the top guys in the U.S. and the world. Hopefully get into some races later in the summer and run really fast.
Now, are you done racing?
No, not yet. I got a few left, yeah.
All right, now, please tell me how you're going to celebrate. I see Billy waiting there. Now, go ahead and celebrate. Will, back to you.
All right, Henry Wynn will get the champagne once again for a second straight summer here in Memphis. There he goes, a veteran. He takes the win. The 7 guys behind him, 2nd through 8th place, all PB in a very fast 1500 tonight.
Well, sun went down. I think things cooled down just a tiny bit, but I can give it up for some of these late winners here. We saw some really bad champagne shaking early on, but these athletes must be watching F1 racing because they're getting it right here late in the session.
2 races to go. Don't go anywhere. Hurdle finals are next.
US Championships a year ago, he won this meet.
Remember me, I'm the one who had I'm the one who had to Remember me.
At City Auto, you'll find a gazillion reasons to buy your next vehicle. Find great selection and value conveniently online and in person. Find more than 35 brands and all the luxury models too. Find more for your trade. Find honest, friendly service. Find competitive financing and upfront pricing for a no-hassle car buying experience. City Auto. See a gazillion, find the one. Elmore Road off Covington Pike, Memphis. cityauto.com.
Under the setting sun in Memphis, Tennessee, the west side of the Volunteer State, with a Tennessee orange sky overhead. The Ed Murphey Classic as we wrap things up with the men's 110-meter hurdles final and the women's 100-meter hurdle final to conclude tonight's festivities. Will Bowling, Dan O'Brien back with you. Glad you're hanging out with us on your Friday nights. Having a lot of fun watching these races here with you, Dan.
And well, I got to say, during the, we see the commercials, Memphis looks fun, man.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what. And you see that time by Henry Wynn, 3:33.33.8.
It's perfect.
There's got to be a riverboat out there someplace. His dice might be hitting tonight, But no, Memphis looks like it's a blast, and that's one city I've been to a couple of times, but I haven't really got a chance to spend much time there. Usually just on the way to someplace else. But I'd love to see this meet in person sometime.
It is absolutely a blast in the Ed Murphey Classic. I've had the privilege to broadcast this meet for the last 5 years, going back to 2019. This is its 8th installment, and it is so cool to see how this thing has grown and how the city has really embraced it. If you are anywhere close to Memphis, Tennessee tomorrow, you got to get out of the Beale Street Games, as the street vault is such a blast. You've got drinks flowing, you've got cookies that are right there next to you. I literally had never been hungrier, Dan, at a track meet than I was last year, sitting next to a place making warm cookies. It was the middle of summer. I didn't need anything warm, but I still was craving them, and it was so much fun last year getting to be there literally street side on Beale Street for that street vault.
But these athletes can be, or the fans can be up on the second level.
That's right.
And watch how high these athletes vault. But back over to the 110-meter hurdles. There's your NCAA champ, 18th ranked hurdler in the world, Darius Luff. He looked good in the qualifying round there, and looked like he just backed off after the 10th hurdle. We'll see him run all the way to the line. But this is a really kind of a soft-spoken young man. But rarely do you meet young track and field athletes who grew up in Lincoln, Nebraska, that end up going to the University of Nebraska.
And how cool is it winning an NCAA championship for the college in the city where you are from? Not a lot of people get to say that. Darius Luff will be in lane number 8 on the outside of this field. He had the 6th fastest time in the prelim. running 13.5. Right to his inside, there is Dylan Beard. He will be in lane 7. Ran his personal best in Atlanta back on June the 8th of 13.1. Semi-finalist at the U.S. Olympic Trials, raced for Howard collegiately. Pride of Baltimore, Maryland will be right on Luff's inside in 7.
And who's the hurdle? Who's the head coach at Howard? David Oliver.
That's right.
David Oliver, world champion. You know, get coached in college by a world champion in your event. Nothing could be more special than that. Orlando Bennett goes on the outside, the Jamaican Olympian. He'll be headed to the Olympics after he got 2nd place at those Olympic trials down there in Jamaica. And it was hard to keep track of. It was the Jamaican trials. It was the British trials. All of the trials were going on at the same exact time. And as much as I wanted to see the results of Jamaica, I was just so caught up in what was going on at the U.S. Olympic trials. But nice to get done with those trials and then see all the results come out and see who made those teams.
So the middle lane goes to Eric Edwards Jr. by way of his 13:38 into a big headwind of 1.7 meters per second in that prelim round. The NCAA runner-up for the LSU Tigers in 2022. That was when he ran his personal best of 13:15. 7th at the 2022 U.S. Championships, made his way into the semifinals of the Olympic trials here this summer.
And keep an eye on lane 4 there. Oh my goodness, there's Jacoby Tharp, just a freshman at the University of Auburn, the SEC champ. He set a U.S. junior record while winning the SEC Outdoor Championships this year. Keep an eye on him. He's young, exciting hurdler with a lot of potential.
And the Tennessee High School state record holder as well from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, at a Rockville High School here in his home state. Running in 4. It's the men's 110-meter hurdles final, and a great start in lane number 3 for Cameron Murray. Quick out of the blocks, powering into the middle phase of this race. Can he hold on to the lead? Tharp making up ground right behind him. Murray and Tharp simultaneous to the line. Cameron Murray 13.3 into a headwind, and Tharp second in 13:33. Davion Wilson rounds out your top 3 in 13:42.
Well, nice run by Davion Wilson there. He got so far behind, I wasn't sure that he was going to be able to catch back up, but both he and Jacoby Tharp, after that tremendous start by Cameron Murray, were able to come back just a little bit. But Cameron Murray, he shot out of the blocks. He shot out of the blocks like an absolute gun. He gets a lead on this thing, puts the pressure on the rest of the field. But there you see, just even after 3 strides, Cameron Murray takes the lead. And you know who's a great starter in these 110 hurdles is Grant Holloway. He's a world-class sprinter. You put him over hurdles, now he's running 13 flat. Good run by Cameron Murray. Good start by Eric Edwards Jr. in the middle of the track. But take a look at the guys who finished 2nd and 3rd. The tall figure with the Auburn in the uniform, he comes in 2nd. Davion Wilson, just finishing his senior year at the University of Houston, he's 3rd. Congratulations to Cameron Murray, though, man. He got it done in the first 5 hurdles, put the pressure on the rest of the field, and comes away with the victory.
A big summer for the former NC State sprinter who started his career at Tennessee, 6th at the Olympic trials, running his personal best in the final there, following it up with another win here tonight in the city of Memphis, 13.3. And Cameron Murray is standing by with Serenity.
Well, for starters, congratulations on your win today. But I know Olympic trials did not go how you wanted it to go, but you still had a personal best there. So for you to come out here today, what was the motivation?
There was really no motivation, just try to come out here and execute what my coach and I have been working on.
Now talk to me about the men's 110 hurdle field. It is one of the toughest in the world. So talk to me about how you are just continuously staying on your toes. What are you doing at practice to make sure you don't get left behind?
Really just working on my weaknesses in my races, turning to my strengths.
All right, now let's talk about some of those weaknesses, because I know you weren't the most thrilled with this run today. What could have been better?
I feel like I got out good, but I got towards the end, I kind of got into a rhythm instead of attacking, so I feel like if I attacked, time would have been a lot better, so just keep working on it.
All right, you absolutely will at practice, but for right now, go ahead and celebrate your win. Will, back to you.
All right, thank you, Serenity. That is a motivated Cameron Murray victorious tonight. Got things to work on, but he'll get champagne anyway. So, one race remains here tonight. The defending world champion Danielle Williams headlines a spectacular 100-meter hurdles field next.
At City Auto, you'll find a gazillion reasons to buy your next vehicle. Find great selection and value conveniently online and in person. Find more than 35 brands and all the luxury models too. Find more for your trade. Find honest, friendly service. Find competitive financing and upfront pricing for a no-hassle car buying experience. City Auto. See a gazillion, find the one. Elmore Road off Covington Pike, Memphis. cityauto.com.
Last race of the night under the setting sun in beautiful Memphis, Tennessee. We welcome you to the University of Memphis and the women's 100-meter hurdle final. Bill Bowling, Dan O'Brien with you, Serenity Douglas. Special thanks to our entire crew making the action and the magic happen tonight in the heat and humidity of Memphis, Tennessee. We've got a defending world champ about to take the track. It is essentially a rematch for all of these athletes of a prelim they ran earlier this afternoon. And Danielle Williams of Jamaica, who will be headed back to Paris, will headline this field running out of lane 5.
Well, at different conditions for these athletes here. When they ran the earlier heat, it was really sunny out. Here we are a couple hours later. It's cooled down just a little bit. I think the winds have switched just a little bit, but look at that calm, cool demeanor by Danielle Williams as she makes her way down the 100-meter straight into the blocks. Kind of interesting, though, to run against the same group that you ran against in the preliminary race. We'll see if anybody makes any adjustments. Christina Clemens had a tremendous run in the prelim, called qualifying the prelim. And Denisha Cartwright, she got an outstanding start, but Danielle Williams ran her down. And we'll see if Danielle Williams can run any quicker.
And you know that Allasia Johnson, who ran the flat 100, will be watching closely because she will battle with Danielle Williams at the Paris Games. This event is going to be so much fun to watch, Dan, and it has been so much fun at the last few World Championships. Think about Toby Amusan. You look at the performances by Masai Russell, by Akira Nugent, who's here tonight. I am so interested to see what happens in this event in Paris because there have been fireworks every single time the world's best have taken the track here in this field.
Well, and a different group for the U.S. than we've seen in the past. Nia Ali not there. Kenny Harrison not there this year on the Olympic team, but Masai Russell, what a breakthrough!
Amazing.
Oh, absolutely amazing. And you know, I was in that stadium. I was in Eugene Stadium when Toby Amusan broke the world record in the semifinals in the World Championships, and everybody thought it was a mistake. But then all of a sudden, you know, here we come around another year and a half, 2 years later. Everybody is running fast. It's like that changed the game. That took everybody's level up. Now, you know, now 12.5 or 12.6. Is a pretty common run when that was winning Diamond Leagues constantly. But now to get a medal at a major final, you got to run 12.3. You got to run high 12.20. It's just absolutely bananas, and everybody's like, well, what is it? The shoes, the track? It's like, hey, you know what? Everybody's, you know, I think, you know, when I was coming up, the goal was to make an Olympian and try to win a medal. You know, but now everybody's making a career of making Olympic teams. You know, not one, not two, but three, and they're having longer careers. They're figuring out how to take better care of their bodies, and when you stay in the sport just a little bit longer, you're just going to get that much better at it. So, but this is going to be an interesting young group of Americans that are going to be battling out against a lot of championship-tested athletes in the women's 100-meter hurdles.
4 Paris Olympians on the track in the women's 100-meter hurdles final. Miriam Abdul-Rashid of Canada, Denisha Cartwright of the Bahamas in 4, Danielle Williams of Jamaica in 5, and Charisma Taylor of the Bahamas, who finished her career as well at the University of Tennessee. The Lady Vol will be on the outside in lane 8. 4 of these athletes have run personal bests this year, including a 34-year-old Christina Clemens, who you mentioned, 7th at the Olympic trials, who equaled her personal best this year into a headwind in Gainesville, where the American Track League will be this time next week. In a very fast facility, of course, down there on the campus of the University of Florida. But we'll worry about that next Friday night. Right now, it is the conclusion, the final fireworks and the final gun of the night as Danielle Williams headlines this elite women's 100-meter hurdle final.
Well, she had to come from behind, about 4th position, about halfway through that preliminary race, and she was able to come from behind and take the win.
And they're off once again. Denisha Cartwright, the quickest out of the blocks once again, with Danielle Williams right to her outside. In lane 6, Christina Clemens with the lead, and Christina Clemens is going to take this one. The American, 12:61. Ahead of Cartwright in 12:73. Williams third in 12:81.
Well, we talk about making adjustments. What kind of adjustments was Christina Clemens going to make? What kind of adjustments would Danielle Williams make? Let's take a look at the start. I think Danielle Williams got a better start, but she just was not as clean in the middle of the race. But there's Denisha Cartwright. Any race she's in, she's going to be out front. When the gun goes off, she just has a knack for getting in to the lead. Take a look at that athlete, second from the right, the Minnesota State uniform, the yellow on the top with the purple on the bottom. Start for her, and Christina Clemens, a tremendous start for her, and Aaliyah Armstrong not far behind. But this is the point in the race where Danielle Williams really started to make a move in the preliminaries, but Christina Clemens, just too much space, too much room on the field, and Denisha Cartwright, she would finish second, and to take down the world champ has got to feel good.
12:61, the fastest time out of our 2 races that these athletes had at 100-meter hurdles tonight. Clemens takes the win over a star-studded group of hurdlers here in Memphis, Tennessee.
Hey, as you guys are on your way out,
and you see the dance moves from Christina Clemens as well downstairs with Serenity Duck.
All right, Miss Clemens, congratulations on this win. Talk to me about what was your race strategy coming into today?
Honestly, I just wanted to get the win. I wanted to come out here and be competitive and leave with a dub, and that's what I did.
Now, y'all are always competitive. The 100 hurdles for women is always extremely competitive. You were a part of one of the fastest in history just 2 weeks ago. So talk to me about how you were able to refocus and come out here today.
I mean, we do it all the time, and that's the thing with the 100-meter hurdles. I love the 100-meter hurdles because we're not scared. Like, we're not, I know I'm not. I'm not afraid to line up with anybody. And when we race, we go after it every time.
Absolutely. Now talk to me about these earrings. Is it Cool Ranch? Is it nacho cheese? What is it?
You know, it's just...
And look, 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 we got some company. We got some company.
Hi, baby. Hi, baby.
Do they try to eat your earrings there sometimes?
No, right? Yes. But so today, honestly, in this final, it sounds so cliche, but I was thinking about him because he has a fever. He was sick. I was up all night with him. All night he was crying. This morning he was crying. And my heart was just hurting so bad. I was like, nobody else on this line got no baby. I got to run to my baby. And I swear that's what I was thinking about.
Absolutely, a new motivation. Make sure you celebrate. Go get the bottle over there. Back to you, Will.
All right, thank you, Serenity. That is superhuman strength. Christina Clemens with the win and pick it up. Kid as well. Let's go downstairs. Serenity is standing by with the defending world champ, Danielle Williams.
Yes, I'm here with Miss Williams. Now, tell me about your race strategy coming into today because you just raced not too long ago.
Yeah, today was supposed to be a technical run, trying to put together a technical, very technical race. That was literally the focus today, trying to see if I could execute the start and the finish, because sometimes I get a start, don't get a finish. Sometimes I get a finish and not the start. I don't think my coach will be pretty pleased with that run that I just put together. Just now, wasn't very technical. So I think I failed the task.
Well, talk to me about how you're just going to go back to the drawing board with your coach and try to fix some things before Paris.
Yeah, I'm just going back into training, continue to. This is the last race before the training, so kind of disappointed I didn't put it back together. But I'm confident that once I get to Paris, we'll have it down.
Absolutely, keep that confidence, but congratulations on your run today at all.
Thank you so much.
Well,
all right, great stuff all night. Serenity as Danielle Williams and Christina Clemens finish up with those races. Dan, a fun night at track and field, and we said it at the open, a critical stretch for Olympic athletes, for non-Olympic athletes as the big summer of track and field continues.
No, it was great. I was glad to join you. Glad to join you and support the ATL, American Track League. I'm good friends with Paul Doyle, certainly who's created this organization, and we saw some great races. And what's interesting, as a decathlete, the 1500 meters was never my favorite race. But I'll tell you what, tonight I enjoyed both 1500 meters, both on the men's side and the women's side. Exciting stuff.
I love it. The moon here in Memphis as the night begins to wrap up, and here is the man, the myth, the legend, Paul Doyle, standing by with Serenity Douglas.
Will, you took the words right out of my mouth. The man, the myth, the legend. Will is boosting you a little bit, but you're the man behind American Track League. So please speak to me about why this is so important for the community and for the athletes.
I mean, I think building the sport in America is hugely important. We've got a lot of new groups starting up, like Michael Johnson's group. Grand Slam Track is going to be amazing. But we need something to support all the athletes and all the events and build up the sport in between these great events. So American Track League is making progress year after year. I think tonight shows like the Ed Murphey Classic is the epitome of what we want to have in partnership. They're so entrenched in the community, working from the ground up with the youth. We need to keep doing this in multiple locations across America.
Absolutely. And what did you hear from a lot of the athletes? Why are they running here? A lot of them have to go to Paris. Some of them, their season is done. So why come out here?
I mean, this bridges the gap for athletes that didn't make the Olympics, and it allows athletes that did make the Olympics to fine-tune everything. Our fields next week in Gainesville are phenomenal. We actually have the fastest 100-meter hurdle field ever assembled. I think the 8th fastest girl in the race is a 12:38 PB. It's insane. So next week is going to be incredible. Athing Mo running the 800. Grant Holloway possibly going after a world record pre-Paris. It's going to be amazing.
No, I'm looking forward to it for sure. But first, we got to get through Street Pole Vault just tomorrow. We have so many things to look forward to. What else at Street Pole Vault?
There's nothing more exciting than a Street Pole Vault. Lots of liquids being drunk, and there's a road mile going on as well. So it's something for everybody. It's a really impressive event when you look at it in a stadium, but when you're up close to it in a street, it's phenomenal.
Absolutely. We have fun over here. Thank you so much, Paul, and back to you, Will.
All right, thank you so much, Serenity. That is a heck of a preview as well for next Friday night in Gainesville. Grant Holloway going to go after a world record.
I would show up to see that. Man, Grant Holloway, he had 3 tremendous races at the Olympic trials. But I tell you, I loved what Paul Doyle said. He said, we've got to continue to build the sport, from the ground up. There's always going to be great athletes at the top, but there's a lot of room for these athletes. How do you get to the top? You can't always make a world championship team or an Olympic team or run, in the Diamond League. There's a lot of athletes who are trying to get to that level, and these meets are important because of that.
A lot of fast times, a lot of bubbles from the University of Memphis tonight as that wraps up the 8th annual Ed Murphey Classic. For Serenity Douglas, for Dan O'Brien, for our entire crew, I'm Will Bowling saying good night from Memphis. We'll see you down in the Sunshine State next week.